You're in terrible, terrible danger.
Franco? Franco, what happened? Oh God. Isaac! Isaac Clark, if you can hear me, run! Run!
Dead Space is one of the scariest and most acclaimed horror series of all time. The intro for Dead Space 2 gives us a clear message of what we're getting into, and it doesn't try to hide any little thing. You're welcomed by goriness at its finest. So those that are into these kind of games, turn the lights off and put the sound extremely high because you're in for an amazing survival horror experience. The game's environments, sounds, rooms with flickering emergency power, lack of electricity, and of course, the different monsters are all as scary as you'd expect. To say that Dead Space 2 released almost 9 years ago and offers an extremely detailed gameplay system like this, with full body dismemberment, extreme gore, unique and unpredictable enemies is amazing to watch. The game is also loaded with tons of different weapons for you to play with and more rig suits to suit your preference. There's a lot more action than the first one, but it succeeds perfectly in keeping the horror elements. It may be a classic linear game, but it can feel a lot less repetitive than an open world game, for example, because over the course of the game's 12 hours, you're never required to perform the same task twice. Every single encounter in Dead Space 2 is different than the one that came before, and I'd say it had to be a difficult task for the developers to keep the uniqueness in each room, considering it is almost always inside a station. Oh, and we can't forget the iconic eye surgery scene. Who actually thought of adding baby and children enemies in this game? Things like these makes the game so twisted and disgusting, but I can't help think it is an amazing addition. I don't think much AAA games of today would add something like this in fear of massive controversy and the request of removal by the vocal minority. We 100% need more games that can go above people's feeling. There's still a massive interest in Dead Space, contrary to EA's comments about players not wanting to play linear and single player games. Visual Games, the developers, had plans for Dead Space 4, which included opening up the world a little more with a flotilla of ships. Necromorphs would have been even more dangerous, with some new creatures even popping up when Isaac entered zero gravity. EA unfortunately closed down Visual in 2017 and future Dead Space games have been cancelled. But the hope of seeing a new game will never die. Dead Space creator himself said he wants to work on Dead Space 4 or a complete reboot. This series has something no other has, and I'm sure all of you would be excited for a new one. Thanks to I Am Legend for being a master member on the channel. You can support me by being a survivor member for 99 cents only. It'll support me and the channel as a whole.